Ho, 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 Merry Hackmas. Thanks for tuning in. This is day 10 of the Advent of Cyber 2023 Challenge. Today we're going to be looking into some SQL injection. Today's title is Inject the Halls with exec queries. So let's go to the screen and knock this challenge out and have some fun with it. The best festival companies started receiving reports. Their company website, Best Festival THM, is displaying some concerning information about the state of Christmas this year. After looking into the matter, Santa's Security Operations Center confirmed that the company website has been hijacked and ultimately defaced, causing significant reputational damage. To make matters worse, the web development team has been locked out of the web server as the user credentials have been changed. With no other way to revert the changes, Elf Exploit McRae has been tasked with attempting to hack back into the server to regain access. After some initial research, Elf Forensic Blue came across the forum post made on a popular black hat hacking internet forum, Jingle Hacks. The post made earlier in the month explains that the poster is auctioning off several active vulnerabilities related to Best Festival Company systems. As a result of Mick Red's thorough investigation, the team suspects a possible SQL injection vulnerability. And posted by Greetster. This dude, Mick Grady, at some point, is he still an employee? We haven't fired this guy yet. This guy is causing tons of man hours of labor and harm to the company to try to, because he's mad, he's got demoted and he's trying to stop this merger between the North Pole and South Pole L companies. Just fire him. We need him gone 10 days ago. It's day 10. Yeah, we got enough evidence. What? I don't know why. Anyway, today we're going to learn to understand and identify SQL injection vulnerabilities. We're going to exploit stack queries to turn SQL injection into remote code execution. And we're going to help Big Red restore the Best Festival website and save its reputation. All right. I have started the attack box. Did I start the virtual machine? Looks like I have. It's not letting me click on it. All right. There's a brief refresher on SQL and SQL injection. SQL, Structured Query Language, SQL, however you want to pronounce it, you want to spell it out. It's really not that big of a deal. Even if you never explicitly use SQL before, chances are you frequently interact with databases, whether you're checking your bank account balance online, browsing through products on an online e-commerce website, or posting a social media status update. Relational databases are structured data collections organized into tables, each consisting of various rows and columns. Each with these are interconnected with predefined relationships, facilitating efficient data organization and retrieval. For example, an e-commerce relational database might include tables for customers, orders, and products, with relationships defined to link customer information to their respective orders through the use of identifiers. So in this one, we have a customers table with customer ID, first name, last name, email address. Now, customer IDs have a unique identifier, and that unique identifier, whenever an order is placed, an order has an order ID, a customer, and a product order. So each order is linked to the customers because each order has to have a customer ID, and each customer has a customer ID. Likewise, products have product IDs, product names, descriptions, and prices. And each product ID, whenever an order is placed, there has to be an order for some type of product. So, in the order table, for each order, you will have the product ordered, and it will include the identifier for that specific product. So, it's relational. SQL provides a rigid way to query, insert, update, and delete data. You can use keywords. Is structured like English, such as select from, where, join. Oh. So in this table here, looks like it's called TBL underscore ornaments. You can run queries like this one. Select store. Store is a wildcard, so select all from this table where the material equal wood. So this, assuming this is the whole table, it would only print out what this row is, what this line is. Um, with the select, you can, instead of using a wildcard, you can select it to only pull out certain columns from matching rows. So this is matching 102, so these columns for L5D, but it's only going to print out this 3 and a 4 color, green and silver, and category. So 3 green tree, and then the next row would be 4 silver snowflake. Uh, you can insert things into the table. So insert into the table name, then you list the column names and then the values that you're putting in for each column name. So the ornament ID is 1, the elf ID is 105, the color is blue, the category is store, the material is glass, the creation date, and the price is going to be $4.99. And it would insert it into the table like that. And this would be a new row. So it's actually incrementing the ornament ID this time, but depending on how you have your SQL set up, it might not be sequential. PHP. So PHP is a general purpose scripting language that allows for creating dynamic and interactive websites. PHP is server-side scripting language, so the code is executed on the web server before the HTML is sent to the user's browser. And the browser takes the HTML file and it displays the contents on the screen in a way that you can actually see it. PHP allows developer to perform server-side tasks such as connecting to a range of databases, including MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, executing SQL queries, processing form data, and dynamically generating web content. Most common way for PHP to connect to SQL is with PHP data objects, PDO extensions, or specific database server drivers like SQLi or MySQL or SQL Server for Microsoft SQL Server. Uh, After executing connections, we can execute SQL queries through PHP and dynamically generate HTML content based on the returned data. Da-da. So this would execute a SQL query. This is what some of the PHP would look like. So is saving the query string to a variable called query, and it's selecting the whole row from table ornaments where the color equals green. And it's saving the results from using whatever function this is, and it's passing as a variable whatever the connection settings are saved as, along with this variable that we made containing the query. So in this case, that query should return this row here. User input. One way to take in user input is through the get parameters. These parameters are typically appended to the URL and can be accessed by PHP. So in the URL, if you see like a question mark and it says color equals blah 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 after the .php part, it will take that in and it will save that as color. Then it will make a query string, but this query string is going to say select all from table ornaments where color equals, and then it's going to pass in whatever value of color was, and then this results line is the same as the one above. So yeah, the url.php question mark color equals green, and that does the same thing as this one does, except this is statically in the server. That's and this is the server being set to dynamically retrieve information from the client or your web browser, rather, whether it be a cell phone or computer or whatever. SQL injection. So taking in user supplied information gives us ways to create dynamic content, but failure to secure this input can expose critical vulnerability known as SQL injection. That's why it's very important, no matter what type of program you have, API, CLI, command line, whatever. If you can take in user input or input from a other system or external source, is always good to check that input and make sure that that input conforms in a way where it's not going to create any type of vulnerabilities, security issues, crash the system or whatever. It's called input sanitization. I always want to do input sanitization. If you could take input, make sure it's clean, sanitize it. SQL injection vulnerabilities pose a considerable risk to web applications as they can lead to unauthorized access, data theft, data manipulation, or even complete compromise of a web application's underlying database through remote code execution. If an attacker can control which queries the database execute, they control the database functions performed and the data returned. As such, the impact can be catastrophic. SQL injection is on the OWASP top 10 list of critical web security risk. OWASP top 10 list, if you're not familiar with it, is something I recommend. If you're interested in security, you should kind of know all of these things: server side request forgery, insecure design, injection, which we're talking about, misconfiguration, identity and all of this stuff, cryptographic failures, you should kind of understand what all these things are and the impact that it can have. Mm, so, without adequate security measures, the attacker could manipulate the color parameter to execute malicious queries. Instead of searching for a benign color, they might input something like a quotation mark or one equals one, followed by two ticks or hyphens. So a query would look like this. Select all from the table ornaments table where the color equals. So some things it wants us to note. This is part of the ejected code, the quotation mark and the or. Now logically with or, if true or false equals true, false or true equals true, true or true equals true. The only way you get false with or is if you have a condition where both sides are false. So false or false is false. But or means like if any part is true, the whole thing is true. So you have one equals one. One always equals one. Therefore, this statement is always true. The two ticks or hyphens at the end is a comment. It tells the database server to ignore every port that comes after. Ending with the comment is crucial for an attacker because it nullifies the rest of the query and ensures that any additional conditions or syntax in the original query are effectively ignored. I already spoke on this. So, really, what this is going to do should just dump the whole table. This SQL injection successfully manipulates the query to return all rows, regardless of the actual ornament color. This is a classic example of SQL injection payload where the attacker leverages the equals one condition to bypass intended conditions or logic in the query that they're not supposed to access. Caution. So, using this can lead to unintended consequences when injecting, especially if you're doing things like update or delete operations on the table. Because when you do things like that, you could possibly mess around and update every item in the table to something that it shouldn't be, or you could just delete every item in the table unintentionally. Um, there's a room to learn more about SQL. There's a room. There's a room. SQL is a beast. Um, I have taken some courses like months, like courses just on SQL. Not on anything else, just SQL, and it still didn't cover everything. I'm still like learning more about SQL. It's not part of my day to day operations, but I mean, it's powerful on the databases or how a lot of things work from AI today to. So I recommend you know learn the basics of it. It's a core component of today's tech stacks. Um, SQL injection could come in various forms. A technique gives attacker a lot of controls to stack query. Stack queries allow attackers to terminate the original query and execute additional statements in a single injection. So now we're getting into the realm of like you're not telling it to do one thing in the query, but you're getting it the one command and you got it doing multiple things at once. So here, this is supposed to be a just select from table where the color is something, but now they've turned it into a situation where it's inserting things into the table also. Testing for injection. So we're gonna start up the tag box we already have. All right, it wants us to pull up the defaced website. So let's pull up the defaced website. I'm going to maybe zoom this in a little bit more here. And I'm gonna full screen this to give us some more space. I don't know what type of devices anyone may be watching on, but if you got a phone, I hope you can read and see everything that's being done. Um, so let's scroll up. Let's scroll back down. Let's get the IP address. Copy. Paste that in. Paste and go. Show me something. Show me something. Uh oh. It does not like me. Hmm. I restarted the VM. The attack box is definitely up. Little pig, let me in. Why are my speakers doing that? I don't know what's up with that. Just turn my speakers off. I'm not listening to anything. Uh, it's weird. Uh, and here's why. Oh gosh. So, man, that's a fail. All right. Take the S out of HTTPS. That's interesting. 10, 10, 45, 219. Well, that's not the IP I typed in. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'll refresh this. Well, I'll terminate you then. Alright, I'm gonna edit this video. I'm gonna wait for it to come up. And instead of having you watch me watch it come up, I'm just gonna cut it all up. See you when we're back up. Alright, we're back. Alright, we'll try this again. Different IP. 176. Alright. By the cat's whiskers. I don't know what that means, but it's provocative. Sounds like it gets some people going. Alrighty. Uh, worst grumpy company. That's one way to. If he's that disgruntled, I think the greedy should just quit. Ooh, jeez. Is this the dude on my team? Oh no. This dude's going too far. He's gone too far. This is a hostile work environment. Like, fire him today. Where's the FHR people at? Oh yeah. Looks like it's steering me towards this gift search or this contact list. I think it's the gift search that they want us to. Locate the gift search. So let's do this. We're gonna make the budget 30. We're gonna click toys for child. Toys for child. Budget 30. Search. So we got the PHP with the queer string. Age is child. Child is an age. Interest equals toys. Budget equals 30. So we got that. So parameters. So It wants us to submit characters like single quotes and or double quotes. We're just gonna add a single quote and see what we get. It wants us to. Uh, I mean, I guess that would make sense. Age wouldn't be part of the query. That it would be a part of the PHP, but so that gives us an error. Looks like we're dealing with the Microsoft SQL Server. So because it's not sanitizing it, we already got like some good fingerprinting information disclosure on the type of system that we're working with. And this error is a huge breakthrough. It gives us many details. Error message enumeration is critical to SQL injection testing. It equips us with information for crafting more precise and effective attack payloads. So now we're going to do the thing where we were looking at earlier where it says or 1 equals 1 followed by the two ticks or two hyphens. Or 1 equals 1 ticks. And that should dump the whole table. So, and interesting thing about this table, it appears this table possibly only has one. Either that or the PHP is only like sending us just the results for one column. We got a flag at the end. Okay. Since we know we got a flag, normally the flag is one of the answers, so we'll copy and paste it. Let's just answer whatever this flag is for. We'll answer the question now instead of coming back to it later. Okay, it looks like this challenge has a lot with it. It's probably this. Oh, there's two flags today. Oh, three flags. Nice. We're gonna go on a flag voyage today. Get results.php. Get results.php. Thought that's the format I put it in. Gift search. Ah, of course. Of course, it was the gift search. Alright. Looks like we need this too. Well, what's this answer here? Copy. Copy. Okay. I think, yeah, that's all we can answer for now. Let's scroll back up to where we were. Somewhere around here. All right. Okay. So we dumped the database table and returned out 636 rows. So we know we could do SQL injection, so we found the attack vector. Um, so we talked about stack queries, Microsoft SQL store procedure, XP command shell is a specific command that allows for executed operating system calls. If we exploit a stack query to call a store procedure, we might be able to run operating system calls and obtain remote code execution. As we confirm the database system is our example is Microsoft SQL Server. With that in mind, let's dive into XP command shell. All right. So the XP command shell is something that's default on machines on some versions of SQL Server, maybe. It's recommended it be disabled on production systems. Oh, it is off by default. So it is possible to enable it though. Sometimes when people are setting up SQL servers and they don't know enough about SQL, they could be enabling things and not really understanding what they're enabling or disabling things and not understanding that it's critical to the functionality and wonder why it doesn't work. It's possible to enable XP command shell through exec queries. It requires the database user to be a member of the sysadmin, fix server role, or have altered settings, server level, server level permission. We attempted to enable it by stacking the following commands using SQL injection. We discovered that you can. So it's not enabled in this case, but we're going to run, looks like this query here, and we're going to inject the commands to enable this feature in the SQL server to allow us to get the remote execution. So let's run that, and then it looks like we're going to try to get remote code execution after we run it. Did I copy it? All right. Paste that in. So exec SP configure show advanced options. One, reconfigure. Let's configure it. I think I put it all in there. All right. There's no way to know until we start. We're gonna try to use Windows certificate servers. So because this is a HTTPS connection, and we know we're running against a Microsoft server, the server is going to be running a program called CertainTill, and that program is what's being used to control the encryption PKI. We're going to try to use VMS Metasploit framework Venom, MSF Venom, to get a reverse shell. Right. So we head to the terminal. Minimize this. Open that terminal up. This looks like our IP address. It's most likely our IP address. Yeah, that's us. Alright. I need to get that in the clipboard. It's already there. Paste though. Paste. Ah, gosh, garbage. Gotta change the IP address in the command. what we just did, we created a payload. The payload is reverse.exe. If we created a reverse shell in this reverse.exe, that's going to tell it to connect back to our machine, which is why we had to put our IP in on port 4444. I'm guessing we're probably going to use Netcat or something to listen in to connections on 4444. All right, this is telling us how to find our IP. We already found our IP. We're going to create a Python server. We're going to create a simple server. This command is going to create a server. Yeah, we're going to use port 8000 once. So now we're going to try to execute our command shell against the cert util URL cache for force. This is going to make it this, no, not force. This is the file. So we're going to send URL cert util on the other computer, our reverse shell file through the SQL injection. We're going to get it to download this and save it in the temp folder under Windows. That's what we're doing. Let's open up Firefox. Let's see, did I? Oh gosh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. And paste. Right, that looks like our payload. So your search return no results. Let's check the output of our HTTP server that we stood up. We got nothing. We got nothing because I did not change imported port here. I did not put our IP address in here. Um, 10, 10, 16 to 32. I'll try this again. 10, 10, 16 to 32. Open the new window. let's kill the server for now. Let's see. So start the server back up. Let's pull up our server. Pull up our server. I'm just gonna navigate to our loop back on port 8000. And that would make sense. That would definitely make sense. So it's serving off of looks like this is not our root drive. This is our home directory. Oh, it's there. It's there. Okay. So we execute XP command share assert to your cache. You tell it the file. The file is on the HTTP server, that port reverse.exe. Tell it where to save it. I feel like that should have worked. Let's try SQL injection again. Ah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Why did it not download the file though? Uh, that's from us. We need the server to download the file. So I'm thinking it's probably botched on where we did this injection. Show advanced options. You tell it to hit the number one. Reconfigure. So our database is still up. It's still up. It's still running. Paste this on the top. Okay. If this doesn't work, we're gonna generate our payload again. Paste them. Mhm. 1.16.232. There we go. There we go. All right. So we should have a reverse shell. I think we can pop out of the web server for a second. I think it wants us to run that cat next. If I kind of saw what I thought I saw. Yep. LMVP. I'm not an netcat expert. I need that. So we need to run another one. We need to tell it. All right. So now we have the reverse shell on the Windows machine. Now we need to get it. Tell it it needs to run. It needs to. We need to run. Pop that. Paste. Run for me, baby. Ooh, look at this. We got a reverse shell. It's sending us. Who am I? I am. I am, man, but definitely something good enough. I'm in a system folder. I probably am. I am, man. Uh, I thought we're gonna need to escalate privileges or anything for this challenge. So they want us to go to the C user directory and explore the administrator folder for hints on how to save. It doesn't give us any further directions. I think we're on our own from here. But all the hard work is behind us. We just users. Oh gosh. CD C drive. Uh, CD administrator. Alright. It's not gonna let me tab out or anything in here. Straighter. I don't know why I'm doing that. Just type it out, man. Wants us to dig for clues. It said to point us in a particular direction. Search for hints. And we're gonna start with the desktop. There we go. So from our previous lesson, if we use the type command, CD into the desktop. It's not gonna work for that. .txt. I'm pretty sure we got another answer. Got a flag. I'm ready to fire McReady, honestly. We receive your Bitcoin payment. Thanks for the speedy transaction. After you gain access, you can deface the website by running the deface website.bat. Feel free to dump the database and steal whatever. If you need to revert changes, run restore website.bat. Please delete this. That dude's not deleted anything. McGreedy is not a smart criminal. It's not. It's not a smart guy. So I think we're almost done. So we need to restore that. Store website. Maybe I should like inspect the file, but man. Refresh the index page to see the changes and obtain your flag. Get rid of that. Flag. We have saved Christmas once again. Once again, here we go. Saving Christmas from the same renegade employee. All right, and there we have it. This one actually, this challenge was a lot. We did a lot here. Yeah, we did a lot. This was more than SQL injection. This was SQL injection. This was remote code execution. We created a reverse shell. Yeah, we just did a lot in this one. This is definitely one I would like to come back to. Um, this was fun. But anyway, tune in tomorrow. Hopefully, your next challenge is just as good or better than this. Yeah, thanks for tuning in to day 10 of the Advent of Cyber 2023 challenge. You have a great night and check you out tomorrow.